For all those who have come to Sihanoukville before 2020 and COVID, everyone used to catch the ferries going to Conron from this jetty here. And if you can remember, what used to be right next to, on the right hand side, was a dirt track just going to a few guest houses. And now they pulled the whole cliff face down and pushed it into the sea and made a sea wall, and now there's a highway goes all the way around towards Victoria Hill and a new terminal. So all those millions of tourists over the years that have travelled down this road with their backpacks and suitcases and in their Tuk Tuks to get the ferries to Sihanoukville, not Sihanoukville, to Conron Island and all the other islands, it's no longer in use. They got a new one. So, and you remember the old road used to come down here, was narrow and you'd have to walk along the road. Now they've done up all the roads in the city and made the pavements really, really wide, and parallel parking on the road, no longer on the footpath, sidewalk. So Sihanoukville's gone under a huge construction and a lot of deserted buildings now. A lot of deserted buildings because the Chinese, COVID-19 hit and they run out of money and they left a lot of abandoned buildings. So it's coming back to the tourists now, the Europeans, and that's starting coming back to Sihanoukville now, and the Chinese have gone back home. So it's coming back to the thing, and they've left, the Chinese have left all brand new roads and pavements and done really, really nice. So there would have been millions of, over the years, backpackers and everyone coming down this road to catch the ferry going up to Conron. Well, it's no longer there. They've built a new one round by the container terminal, and everyone remembers, if you'd been here before, what was there, just a dirt track. Now there's a highway, goes all the way around. So if you're watching this video and you've been to the islands, well, this is what it looks like now. It's closed, new one built, and if you'd been to Otres Beach, well, that's now no longer there. There's a new motorway goes right through Otres Beach, and all the restaurants and budget accommodation and everything at Otres Beach is no longer there. It's all gone. So, and the budget restaurants that were right next to this jetty here, and you'd come and watch the fireworks display. I'll show it to you. Now that's the old Conron Island ferry that over the years millions have caught and gone out to Conron Island. Well, that's no longer in use anymore. It's closed down and they built a new one. But you remember, if you'd been to Sihanoukville before, the beach, and used to be all cheap budget restaurants along here. Well, they didn't pull them down, they moved them, and they're building new ones along here. So that'll be a big concrete thing. But way down the end, right through in the middle of the frame where the trees are, all the budget restaurants were here, moved right down the other end. So we'll go down the other end and I'll just show you where they are now if you haven't seen my previous videos. So the ones that were once right next to the jetty, going to Conron, and we used to watch the fireworks display from the beach here. These budget restaurants are still here, but they're way down the other end by the trees, which is more like the old Sihanoukville and the new one that they're building now. So all the old part is down the other end now. And so I'll go down and show it to you now. All the old restaurants that used to be here, right next to me, have all moved right down the other end. So we'll go down and have a look. So I'll just swing around once more. That's the old Conron ferry terminal that millions of people used over the years. And now they've got a new walkway that goes right through to the old Otres Beach. You can walk along the beach all the way to Otres Beach now along this walkway, and I'll show you how far it goes and how to get to it, because there's a little diversion at the end, and I'll just show it to you. If you haven't been here before, then you won't know what I'm talking about, but if you've been here before and you've eaten at these cheap restaurants, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'll do the walkway now and show it to the new walkway. So for all those who've been to Sihanoukville before, the jet skis are still here. You can still hire all the equipment, but some of them are here outside the new construction along the beach, and the high jet skis are still here. You can still hire them, but they've got an exclusion zone out there for the swimmers, so you can't enter that exclusion zone. That's only for the people that are swimming. And we'll just swing round, and that's where the jetty is. They used to go to the Conron Island. That's no longer in use. And as I said, all the old restaurants that used to be along here, the budget restaurants, have moved further on down the beach. So I'm going down there now to have a look. So if you haven't been to Sihanoukville, then you really don't know what I'm talking about, but all those who have been here before know what I'm talking about. So now this walkway goes all the way through to the old former Otres Beach, which is no longer there. There's a 4-lane motorway goes right through the middle of it, so there's no cheap accommodation left at Otres Beach. So, but this walkway goes all the way through to the former Otres Beach along the beach. So if you want a deserted area to swimming, just walk along here and you'll come to some deserted area with trees and all that you can swim. And we're going back to, we'll go up to the old, there's the old Conron Island jetty ferry over there. And we'll go up right up to the far end where those trees are, where all the old restaurants that used to be here moved further down the beach. So once again, that's the old Conron Island ferry terminal service over there, no longer in use, it's moved. But the new restaurants are building along here. They've actually got like 2 stories and some have got 3. So they have a better view of the ocean at night time. And actually some have got 3 stories. So these will be all open, by the end of 2022. And I don't really know what type of restaurants will be moving into here, whether some of the old ones from down the far end will be moving up here, or there'll be all new restaurants. Don't really know, but there's going to be a huge seating area for chairs and all that type of stuff. But no one really knows what type of people or the prices of who's going to move in here. So we just have to wait for the next few months. But we're just still walking down to the old restaurants that used to be here, right down now further along this walkway. And this walkway will take you from the old terminal that went to Conron Island all the way through to the former Otres Beach. It's still called Otres Beach, but the motorway runs through it now, and there's no budget accommodation anymore. So we're still walking along. So we're still on the walkway, and we still haven't reached the old Khmer restaurants that used to be up the far end. But this is the last, you know, like Chinese restaurant on there. But someone must be having a birthday party or getting engaged or something, and they've done it all up with balloons. They made quite a nice job of it right along the beach here, but we haven't reached the old Khmer restaurants that used to be up by the old going out to the Conron Island ferry. This is still, you know, the Chinese section, so a little bit further up we'll get back to the old restaurants that used to be up the far end, and now they've moved down the other end. I can't understand Chinese. I don't know what it says with what blue balloons means. Is it a baby boy been born or something? I don't really know. Oh, it's got happy birthday up there. Happy birthday to whoever's having a birthday party here tonight. But this is for the Chinese, you know, section. The Khmer section is the next section along up here. So we'll get along a bit further. Now this is all the Khmer restaurants that used to be up by the Conron jetty that no longer in use. So they moved down further down the beach towards Otres Beach. So they're still here. You just have to walk along Street 500 or walk along the beach like I've just done, and you'll come to them. So they're still the same. The beach is still the same. You know, people swimming and all the ladies selling the seafood like they used to. So everything's here, but just moved another 10 minutes along the beach up further towards Otres Beach. And as I said in my former video, Otres Beach is no longer there. Well, the beach is there, but all the restaurants and cheap accommodation is all gone. There's a new 4-lane motorway goes through there, and it's part of Street 500 that goes right through along there now. So we'll go, you can actually use this walkway. It goes all the way to actually Otres Beach, this walkway now. But it comes to like a T intersection. I'll show you how to get to it. I'll get along a bit further. But as you see, the ladies that sell the prawns, if you've been here before, they're still here, but up this far end. So all these are the restaurant, you know, the Khmer cheap restaurants that used to be up by the old Conron jetty that's no longer used anymore. They've just moved up further up the beach towards, you know, if you're walking along the beach, Otres Beach, you'll find them at the, you know, up going along the walkway that I'm just doing now from the old jetty, or you can walk along Street 500 if you don't want to walk along the thing, along this walkway. So they're still here. They've just moved along the beach a little bit. And you know, the most famous one of all is the, you know, Angkor Beach restaurant. That's still here. It's just moved along a bit further along the beach with all the others. So if you've been here before, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been here before, and you're a tourist, you can buy the prawns off the ladies. They'll sell you prawns, or if you just want some snacks like fruit, you can buy them. They used to be up the other end, but now they've all moved down towards, you know, walking towards Otres Beach area. They're still here, but the Angkor Beach restaurant, which used to be the most popular up by the old Conron Island jetty, it's no longer used anymore. So it's just moved along a bit further up towards, walking along the Walkway, or walk along Street 500 and you'll come to it. And at night time they've still got the Angkor Beach neon sign hanging from the trees. I'll show you later on all that up. But I'll show you what they've done at the very end. It comes to like a T intersection, and there's two ways you can go if you want to get to the old Sihanoukville Beach that you used to know if you've been here before, and if you're coming again you'll know what to do. But the Angkor Beach restaurant along the beachfront is the most famous in all of Sihanoukville. It's been here for years and years and years, and it's actually got bigger, and still got the beach here like it used to be in the old, before COVID in 2020. So they just moved along a bit further, but I'll show you the walkway goes all the way through, and I'll show you how to continue on. So the Angkor Beach restaurant has actually got quite big now. They take up like 4 lots all the way through now. So a lot of people still come here because it's really a famous Angkor Beach restaurant on Street 500 or along the beach. And the restaurant on the corner here is the last one, and it comes to a building that they haven't been able to pull down. So to get to the jet skis and everything else you want to hire, you can either come along and walk along the beach here, this is actually a little bit better than the old area that used to be here, Angkor Beach. But you can see all those people in the distance up there. So you can walk along from the restaurant, but the pathway stops here because of that building over there. So to get back on the walkway, you can walk along the beach about 500 metres and then back on the walkway, or keep on walking along the beach until you find your paradise. There's about another 10 kilometres of undisturbed beaches along there, and it's all lots of shade trees. But I'll go across the other way instead of going along the beach. If you want to stick to the walkway, where the walkway ends here, you go across onto Street 500. So I'll go onto Street 500 and I'll show you from there. So the pathway ends here going up towards Otres Beach. So as I said, you can either walk along the beach until you get back on the pathway, or go left and walk across a little empty space onto Street 500, and this will take you back onto the walkway. So we'll do that. So this is a building that was blocking the walkway. So as you said, you can either take the beach and walk along past this building here, or walk across the empty lot and get onto Street 500. And Street 500 takes you right through to the Golden Lion. So if you don't, you can walk along what I've just done along the beach, and then when you've had a meal at night time, you can walk back towards the Golden Lion down Street 500. Now, if you're coming to Sihanoukville, the best streets near the beach this is Street 500, and the next street over is 400. And the next street over is 300. So Street 300, Street 400 and Street 500 are the best streets in all Sihanoukville, and you'll get budget accommodation from guest houses to 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star hotels and accommodation. But just before COVID-19 started in just 2019, 2020, the Chinese started building, actually over 100 casinos and hotels, and now they've all been abandoned because COVID came and the tourists stopped coming, and for 2 years, and they run out of money. So there's a lot of black concrete buildings which are now abandoned, and they've all got concrete cancer, which is the steel is breaking up all the concrete, and they've all got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 story car parks underground. Well, they've all filled up with water, so they'll all have to be pulled down. They'll never ever be able to be completed. So when you're driving around Sihanoukville, you'll see a lot of these old black concrete buildings that have been abandoned, and later on they'll have to be all pulled down. But the ones that are painted up and got lights on, they're the ones that survived. So there's lots of accommodation, from budget to guest houses, as I said, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star hotels in street, 300, 400, and this one here 500. And then you've got all the cheap Khmer restaurants over there. So if you're looking for hotels, make sure it's in street 300, 400, 500, not over Victory Hill Way or in the middle of Sihanoukville, because it's just too far and costs you too much to get to the beach each day. And staying in street 300, 400 and 500, well, it's only like, you know, 3 or 4 minute walk down these little side streets to get to the beach and the cheap restaurants. Now the restaurants that used to be at Otres Beach moved further up street 500 past this white building here, so I'll go up and show it to you. If you've been here before, you know what I'm talking about, and about Otres Beach and all that, but if you haven't been here before, then you don't really know what I'm talking about. So this is the start of the walkway again along street 500, which actually runs right through street 500, and it'll take you, this walkway will take you all the way through to the Otres Beach. Otres Beach is still there, but the restaurants and the accommodation have all gone because the highway goes right through the middle. But all the restaurants that used to be at Otres Beach are now just up further up the road up here, and I'll show you where they are now. Now if you're coming to Sihanoukville, you'll see literally, you know, over 100 of these white, or these black buildings, black concrete. They're all the ones that were abandoned in COVID-19 for 2 years when the Chinese just run out of money, no one came, and so they've all been abandoned, and they're all over Sihanoukville. See some more there, they're everywhere, but eventually they'll just be pulled down, and it's only the ones that are painted and look nice that survived. All the rest didn't survive. So we're still on street 500, walking towards Otres Beach, and I'll show you all the restaurants that used to be at Otres Beach are now moved just a bit further along, and I'll show you where they are. So we're still on street 500, and we're past that white building that's blocking the walkway along the beach, and you either have to walk along the beach or walk along street 500. This walkway will take you all the way through to the former, well, Otres Beach is still there, but these restaurants are the ones that used to be at Otres Beach. So they moved up further because they put a 5-way, you know, 4-way motorway through the middle of Otres Beach. So they ended up here. So if you stayed at Otres Beach and you used to use the restaurants at Otres Beach, well, they're up here now along street 500. But this walkway will take you back onto where the beach is, and we'll get along a bit further and I'll show you. See more black abandoned buildings. They're everywhere in Sihanoukville. See, that's all been abandoned, and all abandoned buildings over there. So Chinese, you know, run out of money and left and went back to China and just left everything here. So eventually they'll all have to be pulled down. So if you're coming to Sihanoukville, don't, you know, this is what the black old buildings are. Were hotels and casinos that were started before COVID-19. And then COVID-19 hit 2020, and no tourists come for 2 years, and they just ran out of money and they all went back to China. So very, very few Chinese on the streets now in Sihanoukville. Very, very few. It's getting back to what it used to be before COVID-19, like 2018, 2019. So we're still on Street 500, which starts off at the Golden Lion. Everyone knows where the Golden Lion and roundabout is if you've been here before. And if you don't know what the Golden Lion roundabout is in Sihanoukville, or just Google search it and you'll see a photo of it. The Golden Lion roundabout, Sihanoukville, Cambodia. So not long ago I was up by the white fence looking down the beach, the people playing, and this is the area here that we are on now. And the restaurants that are along here are the ones that used to be up by Otres Beach, and now they moved up, closer to the Golden Lion roundabout on Street 500. So that building just over there, that's on Street 500, and I just walked along the little alleyway between the restaurants that used to be up by Otres Beach. So these are the cheap Khmer restaurants that serve really nice, cheap food, and it's all been under refrigeration, and it's really good food and cheap. And you've got the beach, and it'll be all lit up at night time, like it is now, like it used to be, before 2018, before they moved in and destroyed everything, and now it's finally coming back to what it used to be like before COVID-19. The old restaurants and the old beach scenes and everything is still here up the far end of Street 500, rather than being in the middle of, up by the old jetty that went to Conron. They're up further up the beach towards Otres now. So if you were a budget traveller, or you weren't and you like, living up Otres Beachway, it's still here. But of course Otres Beach is further up the beach, and they put the new highway in, so they moved all the restaurants down this end, because the new highway went right through the middle where Otres Beach restaurants and cheap accommodation was. So it's just moved up the beach a little bit further. So I'll get back on the walkway that will take you right through to Otres Beach. So just out there is Street 500, and we've just come along the beach where the restaurants used to be up by Otres Beach, are now moved here, and they're putting more of these orange buoys in the water, because this is where this is the area where you will now hire the jet skis and the surf skis, and get pulled behind a jet ski and a boat on the rubber tubes and all that type of stuff. So they're putting these in just to protect the swimmers. So this is what they're doing it right now. So further up there is the beach, and further along is the former, the Otres Beach is still there, but the combination is not there anymore. So we get back on the Street 500, and you'll see more of those black buildings over there. So we're still on Street 500, which goes all the way through to Otres Beach. Now this is the walkway now. We're back on to when you get to this cap here. This is the start, and they put a walkway all the way through to Otres Beach. So you can walk along this walkway, and this is like the old Sihanoukville used to be before, the construction started before 2018-19. So this is the area now along Street 500. When you get to here, this is where you hire your jet skis and get towed by tubes, and anything you want to do with going out. Got life jackets and swimming. So this is all up this end of Street 500 now. So the walkway goes all the way through now, which never did be, you know, before COVID. So if you've been here before, you know, before 2020, you know, you'll see a big change. And if you haven't been, then you won't really notice a change, because you will never know what it was before. But millions of tourists from around the world have been coming to Sihanoukville for, you know, 30, 40, 50 years. And in 2018, or when COVID-19 hit, 2020, everything changed. Not only in Sihanoukville, not only in Cambodia, but, you know, right around the whole world. But this is when the Chinese started building, 2018, 19, and then COVID hit, and all these abandoned buildings everywhere. And you can tell because they're all black concrete and they're not used anymore. All left vacant, and they all moved back to China, no money left. So these are everywhere through Sihanoukville. You'll see them everywhere, hundreds of them. But you know, go back 2 years and Sihanoukville was just, you know, another Chinese city. But now 2022, going on to 2023, so, you know, 99% have gone back to China, and there's very few live here. They're like tourists. They fly in for a few days, do some gambling, and then fly back again. They don't live here anymore. So it's coming back to the old Sihanoukville that used to be before COVID-19. So this is still Street 500, and it takes you all the way through down. Just probably another 8 kilometres of beaches with all the old trees and seating, and hire your jet skis and buy some street food and the jet skis. And so it all starts off at this place here, coffee shop, down past, well, just follow what I've just done. So I walked along the beach, and I'm going to have a meal at the Angkor Beach restaurant, and then I'll go down the side alleyway onto Street 500, and I'll walk down Street 500 back to the Golden Lion roundabout in Sihanoukville, and I'll show you some more photos of, you know, the old abandoned, well, they're only less than 3 years old and been abandoned. And as I said before, they've all got 1, 2, 3, 4-storey car parks underneath, and because they've all been exposed, all the car parks are filled up with water. 4-storey, 3 stories underground, filled up with rainwater. So concrete cancer set in, and the steel and the concrete are starting to break through, expand, and cracking all the concrete. So they all have to be pulled down at some time. We'll never ever be able to like start rebuilding again. They just collapse. So one day they'll have to be pulled down. But in the meantime, they'll just stay as like a reminder of, you know, pre-COVID days when all the money ran out and the tourists stopped coming for 2 years. So if you're a tourist and you haven't been to Sihanoukville, well, come. It's still here, and there's all types of budget accommodation. And if you want to know any more, I'll leave all my details and information below this video. But I'll do some more videoing before I turn it off. So I'll go back to where I started from, the Angkor Beach restaurant, and I'll have a meal there, and then I'll walk back along Street 500 to the Golden Lion roundabout. So these are the restaurants that used to be up by the old Conron terminal before it moved. So they just moved further up the beach, and you've got a nice sunset. So walk along the beachfront like I've just done, or walk along Street 500 when you go home at night, or walk along 500 or get a Tuk Tuk and come to these restaurants that used to be up by the old Conron jetty. But there's some beautiful sunsets on the beach here. So we'll walk back down Street 500 back to the Golden Lion roundabout, back into the city along Street 500. So there's the United. I've walked along here, and to walk back, there's a few of the restaurants got alleyways in between. So you can see an alleyway through there. It goes through to Street 500. So there's another alleyway along a bit further, but we'll take this alleyway, which is almost at the end of that building there we've just done, and we'll walk through the entrance walkway to Street 500. Right, sir. So this will take you back on the 500. So if you walk along the beach front and dine, and then at night time you can come back out along onto Street 500 and walk along back to your accommodation along the road if it's dark. So we walked from the beach walkway just through here back on the Street 500 after you've had your dinner or lunch or breakfast. So we're back on Street 500, and we're going to walk back to the Golden Line roundabout or back into Sihanoukville City. So, you know, if you'd come in 2001, all the streets were, or 2020, all the streets were torn up and were putting new water and mains and sewer systems in. Now all the streets are all being completed, okay? There's no streets under repair or sidewalks under repair. Everything's been finished in Sihanoukville City. In Sihanoukville, you know, a year ago it was roadworks and dust and dirt and everything. All the roads and sidewalks right throughout Sihanoukville have all been finished and upgraded and look like this now. A year ago, 2 years ago, they weren't. They're all under construction. The only thing that left behind is the Chinese are gone and left all these old black buildings here. But you know, it's just a reminder of COVID-19. You know, if it hadn't struck, they would have all been finished off. But you know, COVID, the money ran out, and the rights throughout Sihanoukville City and Sihanoukville and the beach area, they're everywhere. So if you're coming here, there's hundreds of them right throughout Sihanoukville, but never money ran out and all their dreams ran out and all went back to China. So all the roadworks are finished now. There's no, right throughout the whole city, new road, new wide roads, wide pavements and everything. So everything's back to normal, better than it was before COVID-19. Now we're on Street 500, and this is the most famous restaurant in Sihanoukville. It's been here for years and years. Well, I've been coming to it for over 25 years. I've been living in Phnom Penh almost 18 years, so it's probably been here for about 30 years, and it's the most famous one on the beach. It used to be up by the old Conron Island jetty, and now it's just moved up further along. So we're on Street 500. So if you're walking or getting a Tuk Tuk along rather than walking along the beachfront, you'll come to this notice here, and it's just right there. It's right there. So there's over 100 restaurants along you know, this area, but you'll come to the sign that's on the footpath and go and dine here at the Angkor Beach restaurant. It's, you know, it's been here for, you know, I was going to say longer than I have, but not that long. But it's been here for at least 30 years, and the staff are really nice, and all the Westerners that have been here before all know about it. So if you're new and you've never been to Sihanoukville and you're coming, come and have a meal at the Angkor Beach Bar and Restaurant. It's an icon in Sihanoukville. Oh, you'll see it parked there. I don't know whether this van will be parked here, but the notice board will be on the footpath on Street 500. There it is over there in red in the background, and it takes up 3 of those orange towers, and all the rest right along there. All those restaurants used to be up by the old Conron Island jetty, now moved further up the beach towards Otres Beach. At the bottom of my comments in this video, I'll add the name of an English-speaking tuk-tuk driver who drives one of these, and he knows everything about Sihanoukville. So I'll leave his contact details, his WhatsApp number, below my comments. And if you're coming to Sihanoukville by train from Phnom Penh, which is the cheapest mode of transport, or catching the train from Kep or Kampot to Sihanoukville, or coming by plane or whatever other way, hitchhiking or walking or whatever way you're coming, and you want a tuk-tuk driver to pick you up from the airport or the train station, or you want to do a tour of the city or everything, he knows English, he knows Sihanoukville, he knows everything, he knows me personally. So just tell him Mystery Cambodia, gave him your number, and tell him, what day, what time you're arriving at the train station or the airport, everything, and he'll meet you, and he won't rip you off with money, he'll charge you the correct price. So I'll leave all his details down below, but if you want to know more details about anything on this video, then I will just contact me by my WhatsApp number or leave me a message and I'll get back to you. So, but I'll also leave the number of the tuk-tuk driver, and you can just contact him, by WhatsApp and talk to him and send him a message and say you're coming by train, coming by bus or coming by plane, and he'll meet you and take you wherever you're going to your accommodation. So this is the entrance to, if you're walking along 500 Street, this is the entrance to the cheap restaurant. So you go onto the beach and turn left, and you'll come to all the restaurants that used to be up by the old Conron Island jetty, which is no longer there. So they moved further up the beach. So this is the entrance. But this is Street 500. This is Street 500. We're standing on parallel now. And the next parallel street is Street 400, and the one right out in the far distance is Street 300. And so if you're staying anywhere in Sihanoukville, don't stay over Victory Hill or anywhere else. Make sure your hotel is in Street 300, 400 or 500. And you just walk down this middle street here, wherever you're staying, budget accommodation or 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star hotels, that's all them in the distance. And you just walk through, and you're only just 5 minutes from the beach and everything that I've just shown you. But I've done a former video on this, so if you've seen it, then you can turn it off. But if you haven't, then this will be all new to you. So if you're coming to Sihanoukville, Cambodia, and you want to know, so just make sure your hotel or your accommodation is in Street 300, 400 or 500. And actually, that building right behind, that cream building, the cream fence over there, the building that's behind that takes up 2 city blocks, is actually the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen. That's his holiday home. So that's it over there. So if it's good enough for him to have a holiday home, here, that's good enough for you to stay here. And the other good accommodation is where I'm staying now at Benny's Hotel. And if you haven't seen my previous videos on Benny's Hotel, I'll add it to the end of this video here. But if you've seen the video on Benny's Hotel that I've added to other videos, then you don't need to watch. But if you're a new subscriber or you've come across this video and you want some cheap accommodation, I start Benny's Hotel. and I'll add it to the end of this video here. But if you've already seen this video and you've seen it before, then you can, you know. But if you've just come across this video and you want to know more about Sihanoukville, well, scroll down and you'll see more videos on Sihanoukville and Cambodia, Cap, the train stations, the trains, the buses, budget accommodations. I do everything on Cambodia. We'll walk along to the Golden Line and back to where I'm staying at Benny's Hotel, and then I'll add all about Benny's Hotel at the end of this video if you haven't already seen it. I'll actually make this part 1, Sihanoukville Beach, part 1, and I'll do a part 2. So I'll add the hotel and the other part of the walkway to part 1. So this will be part 2 that I'm doing now, and I'll make a part 1. So it's getting too long. So I'll make a part 1 and a part 2 in this series. So this one will be part 2, and if you want to see part 1, you go back to my former to my Mystery Cambodia channel, and it'll be the next video online, which is in the line. It'll be part 1, so I'll make this part 2. So I won't add the Benny's Hotel to this one, I'll add it to part 2. So this is part 1 and, part 2, and I'll add it to part 1. So this is Mystery Cambodia signing off from Sihanoukville, Cambodia, and I'll leave all my comments down below. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to see the rest of my videos on all of Cambodia and everywhere in Cambodia. Thank you, and subscribe, and you'll see new videos, 2 or 3 each week. Thank you. Mystery Cambodia signing off from Sihanoukville, Cambodia. So I will make all this into one video. It's just less than an hour, so I don't like to go over an hour, so I'll add all this to one video, and I'll add Benny's Hotel. If you haven't already seen Benny's Hotel, you can watch it. If you have, you can just switch it off. And if you've seen parts of this video and my other videos, then you don't need to watch this video. So I'll leave all my comments and all my details down below, and the Tuk Tuk driver's number, and if you want to contact me, I'll leave my WhatsApp number. And if you want to know anything about Sihanoukville, anything at all, just send me a message, WhatsApp, or leave me a comment down below. So this is Mystery Cambodia signing off, and there's only a part 1, no part 2. So I'll put it all on one video. So this is Mystery Cambodia signing off, and I'll leave all my comments down below, and you can read them and send me some messages or WhatsApp message. Mystery Cambodia signing off from Sihanoukville, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And thank you. Please subscribe, share and like, especially to those ones who have been to Sihanoukville before COVID-19 and during COVID-19, and you'll see the big changes. And if you haven't been to Sihanoukville, you know, I highly recommend to come in. If you see my other video about the Sky Bar I done last night, it's all on my YouTube channel. Just scroll down until you find them. So thank you, and best of luck, and good night. So I'm staying for 4 nights at Benny's Hotel, and I've stayed here before, but this is room number 26, and it's a really big room, and it's $40 a night. So you've actually got, you know, like if you got this, like if you got children, or like 4 adults staying, all these beds, all these couches have been turned into 1, 2, 3, 4 beds. Or if there's just 2 of you, you've got a nice place to watch TV and everything. So you got these, and then you've got a door goes out the balcony, and then you've got the main double bed here. So you've got the double bed, and if you haven't seen my original videos, I'll show you what's behind that glass screen over there, which makes the hotel quite unique. And you've got your own like tables and chairs over there, windows that open up, and here you've got really nice towels supplied and free slippers, so you can actually take those slippers with you when you go. And you've got the big screen TV here. So the screen TV and the people sleeping on the double bed, the screen TV is like a wall. So you've got a wall between you and the next room, or which is the lounge. So, you know, like 4 adults, 6 adults, or mum and dad and 3 or 4 kids can stay here, and they've all got a room, and you're only paying $40. This is Benny's. So if you've got, you know, all your children sleeping here, or you're with friends and family, or there's 2 couples or 3 couples, they can sleep here. And the others, you've got a dividing wall there with a TV, I see, so it divides away, separate from whoever's using the double bed. And you've got the balcony here with tables and chairs. So you can sit out there in the daytime. But I'll show you what that glass screen over there. Now a lot of people think this is just a curtain, but it's actually aluminium. You can't fold, it's just solid aluminium. So this window here is actually where you have a shower. And there's no curtain, no nothing, so yeah, have to be really friendly with the person you're staying with, or you'll have to go outside and have a drink of beer while your friends or partners each take a shower. You'll have to leave while they take a shower because it can't be covered up. And I'll just go inside and show you what's like inside. There's plenty of cupboard space for, you know, lots of people, and you get your own metal safe. And you get the Benny bathrobes. So if there's four adults staying, they'll supply another 2 for you. Plus you get to keep the famous Benny slippers, and there's 2 pair in each packet. So if you don't wear them, they're wrapped up in cellophane, you can take them at no cost. But this is the bathroom here. I'll turn the light on. So you've got a really huge sink, washing sink, and then you've got your toilet, and then you've got the shower, and you've got the shower door here. So that's the shower door, you shut while you're having the shower, but you can't close. There's the plug hole down there, and you can't close. When you're having a shower, this is what you out here can see, and whoever's out there can see in here. So it's quite unique, you know, if you're married or engaged or have been going a long time, it doesn't really matter. But if you're in here with like 2 other adults, well, you can go away and have a beer in the restaurant while they're taking a shower. So this is quite unique. I've got the big mirrors on the wall, and all you know, they supply a lot of stuff every day when they clean your room out. And that's one huge sink. So this is $40 a night at Benny's Hotel, right next to the beach. Right next to the beach, and this room is number 26. And room number 28 is also the same as this, but if you give them some advance notice, they'll turn any room they've got into a room like this. They'll bring in more or take one out if there's less, you know, so if there's 4 people staying or 6 people can use this
one room at $40, so it works out about like $10 each a night. So it's really good. And I'll go out there. I go out on the balcony and show you the balcony. So this is the balcony here. They'll bring some more chairs out if you want some. If there's for adults, they'll bring some more chairs in for you, and a table. But you got a construction site here, but it's quite a long way away, and you don't hear any noise because I was here like 3 weeks ago, and you don't hear any construction noise, and they stop like 5 p.m. at night. There's no construction all night long. So they're working down here now, but at 5 o'clock, and then the beach is just over here, so we're only about 100 metres from the nice beach, which I'll show you tomorrow. So you don't need to worry about construction noise after 6 o'clock at night, 6 p.m. or before 7 a.m. in the morning. There's no noise. So don't let that put you off here. So at $40 a night, it's a really good deal. That's it. I'll add some more to this video when we go along. Actually, I'll add it to the. I'll actually add it to the video on actually coming from Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville by the train. So you'll see it when it comes up. So I'll add more to this video as we go along. I don't like make my videos more than about 40 minutes long, so I'll add some more to this before I post it. So this is all about the room at Benny's Hotel.